What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I want to make a video, kind of like an update video on these bars. Yeah, so first and foremost, Bullnox is doing 91% off on any evaluations until December 31st. So if you want to grab some, please do so. Use my code, it's Elite91. Dive into this video real quickly. So I've been trading the 4-4-10 setting for a little while, and honestly speaking, I don't think it's bad. I think it's good. I think the setting is good. I don't know if my camera's crooked or not. The setting itself is good, but I think it could be better. And so I've changed it to 6-4-11. And I think, to me personally, it works a little bit better. The problem that I had with 4-4-10 still is it was displaying too much information in my, like for my liking, right? If you've been trading these and you've been using 4-4-10, that's fine, and you've been successful, fantastic. Don't change. But if you're still kind of struggling, try this 6-4-11 setting. It's been really working really well for me, and it's almost like the same as the tick chart. But you will never get 1-to-1 the tick chart, the 2000 tick chart, and this ever. So this is it's pretty close. You could go higher on each kind of value, like 7, 5, and 12. But if you're doing that, then you're already increasing the risk size by basically a 1 tick, essentially. And then if you go 12, it'd be 2 ticks essentially. So if you're okay with that, then go ahead and do so. That'll give you even more, compressed price action. But I think 6-4-11 is working pretty well, and like I said, try it out if you like it. If not, go back to 4-4-10. So that's what I'm doing. I've been trading the 6-4-11 for about 2 months now, and I love it. One thing I do want to mention about these bars, and that's been kind of a struggle throughout, how do I say it? Since I started using them, and that is the bigger channels. So the bigger channels is, we're using these bars is kind of inaccurate, and you can clearly see that, we have a huge channel working down, we have a break, and we never got a new low. My thing with big channels like this big wide channel, is that I don't really use them, to be honest. And the reason I don't use them is because, I'm not going for 10, 20, 30 points. I'm not doing that. I'm going for, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. I'm out. That's all I'm doing. And sometimes if market is going sideways, I'll go for 1 point. The bigger channels, right? So the bigger channels, like I said before, I only go for a few points. I don't go for huge swings unless I trade with a runner, but I don't trade with a runner yet. So the point I'm trying to make here is, sometimes the bigger channels don't really work. And if you are trading the 2000 tick chart side by side with this, you're gonna have some conflicting price action. Honestly speaking, and speaking of doing that, if you are doing that, just so you know, personally, in my personal experience, is it's better to trade just one chart than have 2000 tick chart and this chart together, because you're gonna get entries on 2000 tick chart that you won't see on this, and vice versa. So my advice is just stick to one chart, whether it's tick chart or this chart, and just focus on that, because price action is price action. You can use high low close bars, the OHLC bars, right? You can use those, and it's exactly the same principle and same strategy. So I would recommend just focusing on one chart, unless you're an advanced trader, then sure, use both charts or whatever. But personally, to me personally, if you add in more information to your trading, you're gonna get conflicting ideas, right? Because you're gonna see setup where normally you would flip a switch and just take the trade. Now, if you add in more stuff to it, you're gonna be questioning your decision. Like, well, this thing says otherwise, that says otherwise, this doing this. Now you just don't know what you're doing, and you're gonna miss out opportunities, and you're gonna skip trades for no reason. So my recommendation, can't talk, is one chart. Stick to one chart, and that's it. That's my advice. But do what you please. Yeah. So like I said, it is sometimes hard to find bigger trends on the Renko bars, but also I personally don't trade with big. I use big trends just as a gauge what price is at, right? So in this example, do I think this bigger channel is correct? I think so too. But also, you know, am I going to trade off of this? Maybe not. I don't know, because you clearly see that the correction went up pretty high up here in this area. And we try to test this lows again. So I don't know. Same thing with this. Like, do I think this channel is correct? I mean, bounce here, sure. Midline looks decent, yeah. You know, bottom looks good, but gonna break whenever we tested the high. So, it is one of those things. So use it at your own discretion. But like I said, I use medium to short-term channels. That's my bread and butter. I don't mess with bigger channels unless you are, swing trading or something like that. So that's that. Second thing I want to talk, or third thing I want to talk about is there is some setups that I don't. Let me just turn this off. It's annoying. That I skip or don't count as a leg. So for example, you have this channel working down, this big bearish channel, right? And you have a break here, or small correction, right? To me, this is not really a correction. This is more of like hesitation. To me, all of this is just one leg. I don't count this as, zero first entry, second entry. I don't count that. I count this as one first leg, first entry, second entry, right? So that's what I count as. Because in a trend like this and a channel like this is not really, technically it is by the count a first leg up, so to speak. But to me, it's all one leg. And just to give you kind of like a more clear example where I would count it. So like here, this is a nice example right here. So clearly we were working a downtrend, and we have a correction here. So here in this example, you have a small correction, break new high. That counts as fine, yeah. But when we're in correction like this, right? And I don't usually draw my channels on the retest, but to me this is all one leg. So like new high, first entry, second entry. I wouldn't count that. I would count this first entry and then second entry, right? That's what I would count, because this area right here, to me, it's not a break or anything like that. Same thing with this channel. You have a new low, first entry, second entry. I'm not taking that trade. Because I do think that this is just a one move, one leg, right? So same thing here, like all these little pullbacks, I don't count that. I count this as just one whole swift move, break, and retesting, looking for retest of the high, right? So that's what I'm looking for. Let's just keep a lookout on those, because sometimes you're gonna get a setup. For example, if this channel working up, right, you have a break. Let me actually find it. I've seen it somewhere. Okay, I found it. So I know this is a pre-market, but it's the same principle. It's the same example. But you can clearly see if a channel working up, right? You have new high, first entry, second entry right here in this bar. So I don't take that trade, right? Yes, technically speaking, this is a second entry by the count, yes. But to me, this is all basically one leg, right? So, first entry and then second entry, or even count this as one leg, so you have first entry and then second entry, right? So just to show you, oops, so here, this is your first leg, and then pull back, and then second leg, right? So you have first entry, second entry. So again, it's one of those things where you have to have some kind of discretion a little bit. But just be aware, like first of all, I wouldn't take this trade anyways because it's kind of too far from EMA. I want this to be a little bit close to the EMA. So even though it is next to the channel as well, I don't take this trade. That's just a no-no. So like what I'm wanting to see, like a solid second entry. I just saw one. Where is it? This is what I want to see, right? This is congestion here, so nothing counts here. So 0 first entry, second entry, above the EMA, boom, I'm going long. I'm going long every time. What else? Another one here too. New high, first entry, second entry, every time. This is a beautiful setup. This is a close below the EMA. It's congestion, no trade. But I hope you get the point. Again, it's one of those things. Keep a lookout. If it's too far from EMA, don't trade. Another thing too is the EMA is different from 2000 tick chart than this. So be aware of that. Again, if you're trading two charts at the same time, you're gonna have different EMA visually. Now, I did had a guy send me EMA that I can plug into the chart that's same as the 2000 tick chart EMA. Fortunately, I couldn't download it from the email for some reason, but there's other way you can do it. You can overlay the chart, so the 2000 tick chart over this one and turn off the candles and make the EMA follow the 2000 tick chart. You can do that as well. To me, again, I don't trade 2000 tick chart. I don't watch 2000 tick chart. This is what I watch, and again, it's the same rules. It's the same exact rules. It's the same exact principles. Everything's the same. It's just slightly different bars. It's like you trading, instead of trading 2000 tick chart, you're trading 3000 tick chart. It's the same thing. Yes, you're gonna have different EMA in terms of like, you know, placement and stuff like that, but it's exactly the same thing. You're taking the trades at exactly the same spots. Everything is exactly the same. It's just slightly the bars are different. That's it. So don't get too you know, hung up on the EMA. You know, one bit of advice I will say this: if the price is, for example, I'll show you right here. This is second entry right here. Right here, because you have new high, first entry, second entry, right? So I'm not taking this trade, right? Why? Because it's too close to the EMA. Simple as that. And it's the same exact rule that Max says. If you have enough room to scalp out, take the trade. If not, skip it. And that's what I do. As same thing for short. If there's too close to the EMA, or I don't have enough room to scalp out, I skip the trade. I go to the next one. As simple as that. And one last thing I want to talk about. How long is the video? 14 minutes. Okay. One last thing I want to talk about is congestion. So it's kind of hard to define congestion with these bars, because sometimes you're gonna get a really perfect entry, or perfect setup, I should say, and it'll be congested, right? So I will say this: the way I see this congestion in these bars is 3 or more overlapping bars out of the trade. Unfortunately, here I wasn't paying attention this trade. Luckily, the way that the chart is set up, I was able to come back at break even. I got really lucky. I got the price did came back, so I got filled, and then price reversed. I put my stop loss right here, and on this bar right here, this bar, price came back up to break even, and I was out. I was very lucky. But you can clearly see, again, hold on a second. If you don't see this, you might need to study more. But you have 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar. That's congestion right here. Obviously, this whole thing is congestion, and you can draw a little range here if you wanted to, right? And there you have it. So you can clearly see it's congestion. And I do have this indicator. I talked about this before. It does have this option to show congestion. The problem with this is that it shows congestion after like 7, 8, 9 bars. So it doesn't do it the time of, so, which is kind of useless, to be honest. So you need to train your eye to spot these congestions. You know, you got congestion right here. This whole thing is freaking congestion. No trade there. Again, it's too close to the EMA. There's just nothing. Maybe possibly this higher low here, but again, it's congestion. I'm not touching that. This is a no. I've got burned way too many times by congestion. And lately, what I've noticed, most of my losers, they come from going into the EMA when it's too close, right? So like, for example, you know, this this higher low right here. It's too close to the MA. I'm not taking that trade. I'm done with those. Even though most of them work, but every time I take one, it doesn't work. So I left it alone. I've learned my lesson. Just like with the inside bars, just like the congestion, just like trading within the first 5 minutes of the open. It's just one of my rules that I just don't mess with. I don't touch it. If the EMA is too close to the signal bar, I'll move on to the next one. It's how it is. I'm in the business of making money and not just taking a chance. But I think that's it. I think pretty much it. Like I said, sometimes you get carried away and you forget, or whatever case may be. But even like another example here, like the lower high here, right? You already have a channel working up. You have a break. You have a break here, retest with a high, and then of course the EMA is holding the price. It's holding this price. You can clearly see it's holding. You have another leg up, and basically you have a not really 2 legs up, because technically this doesn't really count anymore, because this is low is lower than this low. But again, 1, 2, 3, 4 bars overlapping. Do you take it? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it is. You have enough room to the EMA, so you will get your scalp if you're doing the scalp. But also, you're kind of shorting the uptrends, which is not a good idea. So it's one of those things. But you do get like a lower high here. I'll probably take that. Again, I would skip this. This is I don't know about that. Higher low here, skip that. What else? So this lower high, however, right here, I would probably take that if it wasn't after 2:30. But I would have taken that. You have a. You clearly see that we try and go up to the this trend channel, and you wouldn't probably have this trend channel just yet. I mean, you could have. Yeah, you could have. So I definitely would have taken that if it wasn't for the 2:30. But you clearly see trying to test 1, 2, 3. It's also kind of like a triple test. But you can clearly see the difference between this lower high and for example, like this one. Like if you can't see this difference here between these two, then you need to train your eye more. But this is a clear lower high. It's perfect. Plenty of room to the EMA. I'm going. There's even a break of this channel and a new high in place. Break new high. All day. I'm taking that trade 100%. Even though this does work, this and this does work, sometimes every time I take it, I get stopped out. It's just one of those things. So I don't even try to mess with it anymore. When you do this long enough, and I'm not saying I've been doing this long enough, I haven't. I'm only been doing this for almost 4 years. But there's certain things that you did in the beginning that you're gonna realize, like, hey, like this is actually hurting my trading. So like when it comes to a point when you say enough is enough, that's when you start making changes. That's when you actually start trading better, because like I said, inside bars, 5 minutes before open or after open, EMAs, all that stuff. I got burned way too many times with that, and I'm just done with it. I'm looking for a perfect setup, not perfect setup, but I'm looking for a correct setup. That's more proper term, because nothing in trading is perfect, but I'm looking for a correct setup with plenty of room to EMA and all that good stuff. But anyways, that's not here or there. But those are the few things that I've kind of been looking out for and changing and adjusting. I figured I would let you guys know. Like I said, I'm still trading these bars, and I do really like them. And that's all I got for the video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.